What is the single biggest storyline week one for the Denver Broncos as they host the Tennessee Titans a mile high? There's plenty of options to choose from. You could go to the likes of Bo Nix, a year two jump as opposed to a sophomore slump. You can look at the defense and the expectations coming off a season where they had a league high 63 sacks, just 9 off the NFL record that actually on paper should be a little bit better. You could talk about Pat Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year. Only one team gets to boast that. It's the Denver Broncos. You could look all around this roster. Evan Ingram. Do the Broncos have their tight end legitimately for the first time in about a decade? There's storylines up and down this roster. But for me personally, I think the single biggest storyline as we head into week one, Broncos-Titans, is the effectiveness of the Denver Broncos ground game. It is almost a Christmas freaking miracle that a year ago, a team with a rookie quarterback taking on the largest dead cap in NFL history didn't have a run game, didn't have a tight end, didn't have a slot receiver, and still made it to the damn NFL playoffs. It's unbelievable when I actually say it out loud, even all these months later. But the rushing attack is going to be essential if the Broncos are going to get to the heights that Sean Payton believes that they can get to. This was a ground game a year ago that, and I've talked a lot about this on my radio show, almost ad nauseum, because I can't believe it. Even as I sit here before you today and say what I'm about to say about the 2024 ground game, I almost still can't believe it. But the top three running backs on the Denver Broncos went the entire course of a season without a single carry, between the three of them, without a single carry that went for 22 yards. It's true. It should be impossible over the course of a season, especially when you talk about an offensive line that had the best run block win rate in the entire NFL. I often say two things can be true at the same time. How can you have the number one offensive line and run block win rate and not have a single carry among the top three running backs go for 22 yards over the course of an entire season? Again, it should be impossible. And when I asked Sean Payton about that earlier this summer in training camp, he did not mince words. He's like, we were not good enough in that category. We have got to get better. And he said it without saying it, but he kind of hinted at it. But he basically said in so many words, we went and got better players, right? We went and got J.K. Dobbins. We went and got R.J. Harvey. And I know Javonte Williams played well in the first game for the Dallas Cowboys. 3.6 yards a carry, gets down tight to the end zone, and he gets to cross over it twice. That's fine. But he wasn't even close to good enough as a starting running back. And the two guys behind him weren't either. So it's got to get better, and it's got to get better in a hurry. The Broncos were so imbalanced a year ago. Like, Bo Nix was a rookie quarterback and came into the league and had the 6th most passing attempts in all of professional football as a first-year player. I mean, that's insane, and it was unhealthy. Now, luckily, Bo was good enough to handle that load, but you want a more diverse and democratic offense if you're actually going to have success and beat more than one playoff team over the course of a season, right? And of course, I'm referring to the 2024 Broncos, who only beat Tampa really over the course of the season in terms of a playoff win. You have to be able to run it. You have to be able to run it in the red zone. You have to be able to run it when the defense knows you're going to run it, and you say, I know that you know, but I know we're still going to run it. All right? And until the Broncos can unlock that level of their offense, there's going to be a bit of a ceiling on who they are for 2025. You look at the teams that truly contend, or even just a year ago, for a championship, a team like Philly, right? I mean, they're able to run it down your throat. A team like Buffalo is able to run it down your throat. A team like Baltimore is able to run it down your throat, right? So those are the three most likely Super Bowl contenders this coming season, and they're all able to run the ball effectively. Can J.K. Dobbins stay healthy for 3/4 of a season? I'm not even asking for a whole season because I think that's unreasonable to ask for something that you've never seen before. But can you be healthy for, call it, 12, 13 games, right? And can it be towards the back half of the schedule? Can you be available for a potential playoff game or two? And can RJ Harvey, as a first-year player, kick down the door to the NFL the same way that we see running backs do every damn year in the NFL? There's an average of 1 to 2 running backs as rookies that go for 1,000 yards. It happens every season, from the Elijah Mitchells to the Zeke Elliott's to the Saquon Barkleys to the Phillip Lindsays. It happens every single year. Not saying RJ Harvey has to go for 1,000 yards for it to be successful. I'm not saying that at all. But can he be effective? And more pointedly for Harvey, can he be effective running it between the tackles? All right, here's a stat for you. 69% of RJ Harvey's runs down in the bounce house in Florida, playing for Central Florida, 69% of his runs went to the outside. Whether they were designed to the outside or he bounced them to the outside, nearly 7 out of every 10 times he carried the football, he tried to get to the edge. Guys, he was talented enough to do that in college. All right, he's going to have to be more multiple in the NFL. And to be able to effectively, if you want to bounce it outside, the only way that you're going to be able to do that on an even semi-regular basis is to run it inside effectively enough that you pose a threat between the tackles. And then can there be a third back, right? Tyler Bidet, Jaleel McLaughlin, they kept 4. Are we going to see regular contributions on game days from a third running back? All right? Because really, you would like to spread this thing out as much as possible. I do not think that the 1,000-yard rusher should be any sort of priority for not only the Broncos this year, but even Broncos fans. It really shouldn't matter. It's about the production of the entire unit and how effective you can be. And I know there hasn't been a 1,000-yard rusher since Phillip Lindsay in 2019. Hasn't been a 100-yard in a game rusher since Latavius Murray. Like, what? That is insane. The Broncos have tried to address the running back all sorts of different ways. Like Javonte Williams, second-round pick. Royce Freeman, a third-round pick. Devontae Booker, third-round pick. They've tried. Melvin Gordon, let's pay him $16 million over 2 years. They've tried all different avenues to address this position, and no one really, in about a half decade, has able to catch real traction and have sustained success. Can the Broncos ground attack unlock themselves in 2025, and what that will do for the passing offense and the play action offense and running up scores and staying on the field, keeping your defense fresh? It's all tied together. Just like human connective tissue, it's all tied together. So is your ground game to your pass game, your offense to your defense. It's one hand washing the other. But they have to find a way to establish the ground game and maintain and sustain the ground game. We haven't seen it. Haven't seen it in years. Will we see it in 2025? I think that we will, but the first clue to gathering that information is week 1 on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. Guys, appreciate you being here. Please give me a like on this video. Subscribe to this channel. I humbly ask you, please follow me along this YouTube journey in 2025. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you real soon.